Hamas's attack over the weekend not only breached Israeli military defenses, it shattered the belief that Israel could withstand an invasion from the Gaza Strip. What's equally shocking is that no one in the Israeli government saw it coming. Now, Israel is believed to have the most extensive intelligence network in the Middle East, with a highly secured and sophisticated border around Gaza, surveillance drones, and informants inside Palestinian militant groups. In theory, nothing much can happen in Gaza without Israel knowing about it. But they were blindsided in a large-scale coordinated attack. Dr. Jean-Loup Samaan, a senior research fellow from NUS's Middle East Institute, gets to the point on this intelligence failure. Good to speak with you, Dr. Samaan. So up until last Saturday, Israel had largely contained Hamas and Gaza, but their defenses appeared to fail on Saturday. What went wrong?
Well, so far what we know is that we have a combination of several beliefs or assumptions that drove the policymaking in a disastrous way for Israel. An element of intelligence failure, the fact that the intelligence services in Israel did not think that such a operation with the scale of that operation, combining thousands of rockets and infiltration of Hamas combatants in the south of Israel was possible. There was no treatment of that scenario in a serious way. Added to that, there was the assumption that reliance on the military strategy that had worked in the past, meaning over-reliance on missile defense systems such as Iron Dome and very limited ground forces in the south was enough. It related also, I think, to the politics in Israel. Clearly, with the current government, the priority was not Gaza, it was the West Bank. For different reasons, the government focused its military forces on the West Bank, and mostly because we had in the past announcements of new settlements in the West Bank that forced the Israel Defense Forces to focus on the West Bank instead of Gaza. So here you have, as I said, a combination of intelligence, military, and political failures that all together led to that disastrous operation.
Israel says that it has regained control of the Gaza border. It also drafted a record 300,000 reservists. But Dr. Samaan, can Israel ever restore this idea of deterrence dominance over Hamas, and at what cost?
Well, that's the biggest question at the moment, because politically there's clearly a desire on the side of the Netanyahu government to say that the current operation will change the status quo and will reassure the Israeli citizens. But so far, it's not clear exactly what militarily can be achieved in the Gaza Strip. What we expect is possibly a major ground invasion, but even a ground invasion cannot change the situation there. The problem is that for the past 2 decades, we have seen a status quo or a deterrence system where Israel from time to time had to intervene militarily quite heavily in Gaza to degrade, to destroy the forces of Hamas. And that creates this situation where you have, since 2008, 5 major conflicts between both sides. I'm stating the obvious, but the military solution is not, in the end, the real solution. We have this situation with conflicts regularly between Israel and Hamas because there's no political settlement between Israel and Gaza. And for the time, the Netanyahu government was able to say that it's possible, it's sustainable. Netanyahu has always said that there's no need to solve that conflict, that it's possible to contain it. Today, we see the limits, unfortunately, with tragic expression of that policy.
On the other hand, or on the other side, Hamas is calling for the Arab and Islamic world to support their cause. Dr. Samaan, does this conflict have to escalate for Hamas to achieve what they've set out to do, or is there some other way to resolve this?
Well, first, Hamas clearly wants to take ownership of the Palestinian cause. That's nothing new. It's actually a process that has been going on for several years now. Clearly, Hamas, through that operation, is sending a message that it is representing the Palestinian people. And I think the biggest mistake we can make here is to think that this brutal operation of last Saturday would represent in any way the Palestinians. This is an organization that is in control of Gaza and which is trying to take, as I said, the full control of the Palestinian cause. The challenge, I would say, for the international community will be to find a window for opportunity with regards to the peace process. Eventually, the military response that we see at the moment cannot solve the conflict. So the critical moment will be for the international community, and in particular, I would suspect for the US, to find a way from that crisis to bring the sides back to the negotiation table. I don't think at the moment this is realistic to imagine that this can happen in the coming months or maybe in the coming year. But in the long term, this is the only way that we can see this situation where we have regular conflicts almost like every 2 years ending.